Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Your Next Move. We're your hosts. I'm Evantz Saint-Gerard.
And I'm Dean Graber.
We're Team NWE of Keller Williams Realty Landmark. And if you couldn't tell, we're in New York.
Yeah.
We're a New York team. We have a special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Will Draper. I live just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, in a lovely little town and suburb called Wake Forest.
Nice. All right. So I'm looking at, you were showing us your tattoos before. I thought it was an interesting story. So let's share that with the audience.
Okay. Yeah. So our family motto. So I'm married. I've got two kids. I got a 9 and a 10-year-old. And our family song, I guess you will, is The Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Because every little thing is going to be all right. Like, nice. It's been one heck of a year. But like childhood is like a crazy thing. Parenthood is a crazy thing. And something we always tell each other is, every little thing, it's going to be all right. So at one point a few years ago, me and my wife decided to get tattoos that symbolize that. So we always remember that, hey, everything's going to be all right. So she was the first. She got 3 birds tattooed up her arm. And I've got a bunch of tattoos everywhere else, but like this was the inspiration for that. And so we did a bunch of research on like folk art and whatnot. And then we came out. And you can see that's my wife, my son, my daughter, and it's the whole first verse of that song done in folk art. So you wake up to the rising sun, and I have a son. There's 3 little birds on my doorstep. There's a doorstep singing sweet songs, and then it's a giant guitar that also looks like a camper, and it's kind of tie-dyed. So we like the whole like good vibes, reggae, peace and love. So that's just kind of our family and our vibe.
All right. This is why I wanted to. This is why I wanted to share this story. I'm like, this is a cool story. I think the audience would appreciate.
All right, and that ends season 2.
Anyway, you told us you're married, you have kids, you're in North Carolina. Tell us more about your team, business-wise.
Okay, so I have my own escort brokerage called Draper & Co. Realty. So my last name is Draper. And the vision is to kind of grow that out into a larger team. Right now, I'm kind of operating solo, trying to figure out how exactly I want to structure that. My parent company is called Fathom Realty. We have 300 or 400 agents here locally, I believe. So we have a big base, but I've always been a independent person. Both me and my wife have been self-employed ourselves for, I think myself, like 7 years, and she's been self-employed for probably 10 to 15 years. So we're people that don't like to take paychecks from other people. We're always kind of go-getters, like do things ourselves, be our own boss. So I really enjoy just kind of flying solo, but I'm getting so busy that I'm definitely going to need some support staff and maybe some other agents like down the line. But right now, I operate solo with a great team and sphere of people around me down here.
Okay. Now, when you say you're busy, are you busy with buyers, sellers?
Both, actually. So our market here, probably like the rest of the country, is a little crazy. We're down 60% on inventory and up 40% on buyer demand. It doesn't take hard to do that math and see how that's kind of flipped the entire equation. With these low interest rates, we just have so many buyers flooding the market. People wanting to go ahead and move up. First-time home buyers flood the market. And we have a lot of relocation people come into the Raleigh area because of our industry.
Right.
So they don't build more land, right? They can only build houses, and we're running out of land. So there's a lot of demand, and people kind of pump the brakes on selling this year. And we're seeing lots of multiple offer scenarios in pretty much every price point. So I'm busy with a lot of buyers and sellers. I'm about half and half. A lot of my folks are relocation, or they're moving up and selling their current house and buying investment properties.
Are you guys experiencing what we have here? Are people actually leaving Raleigh-Durham and going to the suburbs, or are they still moving into the city there?
So we have a really interesting geography here. Okay. So a little bit of background. Raleigh, North Carolina is the last state capital in the United States of America to get an interstate highway.
Really?
Okay. That's a random fact. I believe it was late 80s, early 90s when we got the first interstate that actually came through here. And Charlotte is the biggest city in North Carolina, but Raleigh is the actual capital. Okay. We have what they call the RTP area, Research Triangle Park. So biopharmaceuticals, tech industry, people like Red Hat and Pfizer and LabCorp, all of those companies kind of flock to this area because we have feeder schools. UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, NC State for engineering. Wake Forest University, which is like hour and a half to the west. We have a lot of universities in the area, very high rated universities. So all these tech companies move here and they're bringing a lot of folks here. I moved here in 2005. And I think the statistic I learned back then, which I think still holds true today, between 80 and 100 people per day move to this area.
Oh my God, that's a lot. That's
It's
a lot.
It's seen insane growth for sure.
Okay, and do they move to the city though, or the suburbs? So I don't know the area.
So Raleigh's got like a small downtown, quote unquote, city area. It's really been redeveloped over the past 5 or 10 years. When I first moved here back in 2005, there wasn't a lot downtown. It's like you wouldn't go downtown to do stuff, go out to eat, go see music, all that type of stuff. Like you would just do kind of these outlying areas, the place called Glenwood South, which is like a main strip where there was lots of stuff to do. So there's not a lot of quote unquote city living. Old Raleigh, which is what surrounds the outside of Raleigh. We have two main interstates that surround Raleigh. We have 440, which is the inner circle, or what people call the ITB inside the Beltline, and then 540, which is a bigger interstate. So it's like a circle. We have the city center, one interstate, and then a second interstate. Okay. So inside the city, like city of Raleigh, you can feel like you're in a suburb, but there's more stuff around and more people. It doesn't feel like you're in a city where you're super, super tight. That's a very concentrated area like downtown where the state capitol is. So what I call old Raleigh, there's still lots of tree-lined streets. Like it's an extremely beautiful city. And over the past couple of years, we keep getting ranked one of the top 5 places in the world to live and work. One of the reasons being is we have the most Greenway Trail miles per capita of any city in the United States of America the last time I saw the statistic.
That's like hiking trails?
So like paved trails, like all throughout the city. We have more parks. We have programs with arborists where we keep lots of trees in the city. Like an oak tree is like the thing around here. It's like the mascot of the city of Raleigh is actually an acorn, right? So it's a very wooded area. So when people move to Raleigh, it depends on where you work. Like if people are working in RTP, you got to take access into consideration. So, okay, what interstate do I need to be off of? What's my commute time going to be? And Raleigh itself is surrounded on the outside of this belt line. So the outer belt line 540 with suburbs everywhere. Wake Forest, where I live, Rollsville, Knightdale, Fuquay, Apex, Cary. Like it's just little suburbs and towns that surround the entire city of Raleigh. Like there's really nowhere else to live in Raleigh. So everything's kind of pushing out like suburban sprawl type thing.
Okay. All right. So that sounds interesting. And are there any condos there also, or just houses?
So there are some condos in the Briar Creek area, which is just west of Raleigh where the airport is, right? So there's some condo areas over there. And then downtown, they've built a few new high rises recently where there are condos downtown and a few of the high rises. But most of our inventory around here is going to be single family homes. There's a lot of townhouse area, but the majority of everything is going to be single family.
All right. And is there tourism there? Like, do you have, do people do people come to visit to possibly buy a vacation home, a second home, seasonal people?
This is not really like a tourist area. Okay. This is a hub for people I want to call it like a young professional or a family hub. Okay. So one of the great things about Raleigh, and one of the reasons I live here, is in 2 hours, I can be at the beach. In 2.5 hours, I can be at the mountains.
Nice.
So I can go snowboarding or I can go surfing, depending on the season. And it's about the same distance either way. So it's a great middle ground between the mountains and the coast. And our climate's fairly temperate. So you're not seeing a lot of vacation homes. You are seeing a ton of people moving from New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. We get a lot of Northeast and a lot of Midwest folks like Detroit area, Michigan, Chicago, move into the area down here because it's not as cold. It's a little bit warmer and there's a lot of industry here. So that we're not really vacation. It's like live, work, play type of scenario.
Now, speaking about the young professionals, the young families that are moving in there, you mentioned the work and education. What else are they doing out there for fun, like during COVID? Post-COVID and pre-COVID?
So because we have a lot of greenway trails, you get a lot of people that are running. There's a lot of great run clubs around here. I'm a big runner myself. I try to get out and run at least 20 miles a week. There's a lot of biking on the greenway trails. We have this really cool park called Umstead. And there are countless miles, whether they're trail miles or paved miles. It's just a fantastic park. There's fishing you can do in there. So we've seen a lot of outside activity. We do have a lot of, used to have indoor climbing gyms, like rock climbing.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of outside stuff here, but there's been a lot of indoor gyms. But those folks are starting to head out towards the mountain and do rock climbing out there. We have a lot of lakes in the area. So you see a lot of people going out boating and fishing and swimming just outside of facilities. We have tons of trails. The Mountain to Sea Trail, which actually connects the mountains to the coast. You can actually follow a trail all the way from the mountains of North Carolina, all the way across the state and out to the coast on the beaches and the dunes. And that runs right through our area along a lake called Falls Lake. And it's a quote unquote hiking trail. You can trail run it, you can walk it, but it comes right through the area. And the trails have gotten lots of heavy use because we have tons and tons of parks. So what people are doing is getting outside, exercising.
Heard that.
We're noticing
a theme when we're interviewing people or speaking to people around the country.
Yeah.
Since COVID, I think a lot of people have taken advantage of going outside and actually putting the computers down, the laptops, all the technology, putting down to the side, and actually, hey, you know what? There's nature out here. Why don't we enjoy this and do stuff? And people getting back to the basics. So it's good to hear people still doing that.
Yep.
Now, music-wise, basically, what's the music scene?
So I used to play in a band around here. I was a bass player in a band.
I like you already.
Yeah, I play tenor sax, I play bass, I play guitar, a little bit of banjo. I used to play more, but I played in a rock band around here for a few years. The music scene before COVID was fantastic. There is a bunch of local venues downtown where music gets played on a nightly basis. You could pick a gig any night of the week. You can pick and go watch a band any night of the week normally. And we have a bunch of national venues as well that pull in national acts. Walnut Creek Amphitheater, which hosts thousands of people. It's an outdoor pavilion. And then my absolute favorite is called the Red Hat. It's in the middle of downtown Raleigh, but it's an outside amphitheater, 100% outside, that you just look back and there's this giant wall that is an oak tree that has these like little glass fins. And as the wind blows, it looks like the tree is waving.
Oh, that's cool.
It's right outside of, you'll have to Google search the Raleigh Convention Center and you will see a really cool tree there, the Red Hat Amphitheater. Those are my two favorite spots because you can be sitting in the middle of this outdoor amphitheater with, I want to say like 3,000 to 5,000 people. Look up and you can see all the buildings around you. And then you can just see this giant wall of trees made out of glass that just kind of wave when the wind goes. It's a super rad spot.
Is that open? Because it's outdoors. Is that open now?
No.
Oh, COVID got that? Okay.
Yeah, COVID. We haven't I had tickets to shows all summer long and they've all been canceled. And they're actually putting a curfew in place again, starting, I think, tomorrow night. Okay. We haven't had any music in a long time.
All right. But I'm pretty sure everybody's, finding alternatives. They could probably do streaming stuff.
Yeah, we've streamed some like concerts and stuff at home ourselves on the weekends, which is nice. But one of my great loves is getting out and seeing music. So I can't wait till we can get back to that. We have some great venues here. We really do.
All right. And you mentioned sports before.
So if anybody knows college basketball, UNC and Duke, right? They are literally 30 minutes away. So this is big basketball country, ACC basketball. So there's a lot of that ACC football. Professionally, we have the North Carolina Women's Courage soccer team. So that's part of like the women's MLS system. And then we have a professional men's soccer team as well, which is not the MLS. It's like one level down from there. But they have a great youth organization called North Carolina Football Club, NCFC. My son's a part of that. And there's thousands of kids. I think they said there's 500 teams through this NCFC soccer organization. And it's not the only one around. It's just the biggest, right? So soccer's really big around here. Basketball is really big. And then, of course, ACC football rivals, Carolina, NC State, Chapel Hill, Duke, ECU, App State's out to the mountains. So college basketball, football, and then soccer kind of big. And actually hockey's pretty big too. We have the Carolina Hurricanes,
There
which
you
won
go.
the Stanley Cup a few years ago. I'm not as big into hockey. There's a ton of people around here that are. You see kids shuttling back and forth to hockey practice all the time.
They knocked out my team 2 years ago, but we won't talk about that anymore.
And Dean, what was your team again, Dean?
That would be the New York Islanders.
All right,
Oh,
he's a big
okay.
Islanders fan. So sports, you have a lot of stuff going on in sports. So sports lovers, if they're thinking about moving, this is a definite area basically for them to check out. Food wise, that's my favorite subject, food.
Ooh.
What
So-
is Raleigh known for?
All right. That's hard. I'm going to have to say what we're known for. Oh man, that's hard. Recently we've gotten a lot of press for food. Okay. We've got a couple of James Beard Award winners. Ashley Christensen has 4 or 5 restaurants around here, and she's always up for a James Beard Award.
Okay.
A place called Beatamanda was on, I don't know if it was Food Net. It wasn't Food Network. It was, what is it? Savor? Is that the fancy food magazine? Savor?
I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up.
I think it's Savor. If you're a food guy, look it up. Savor. I think they made the top 10 best restaurants in the United States of America last year.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. And so we've had some chefs from like Iron Chef that have opened up restaurants around here. But the real heart and soul of this area is barbecue.
All right.
Like whole hog barbecue. We've got some really famous pit masters around here, and like little hot dog joints. Like people love some of these little hot dog joints. And Wake Forest Shorty's hot dogs has been around for, I don't even know how long, probably as long as the town's been around, but people love those Carolina Red hot dogs, right?
Carolina Red, okay.
I mean, just good old Southern food. It's not really my thing. I tend to eat a little more eclectic.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Since you're saying eclectic,
What
what
is
is your
that
favorite?
then?
What is your favorite?
I love sushi. I'm a big sushi person, but I really get down on like fresh farmers market vegetables. We have some great farmers markets around here.
Okay.
So right now, actually in the oven, before I came up here, I was prepping dinner. I have some roasted root vegetables and Brussels sprouts being roasted in the oven right now, some wild rice. And then I made a green goddess yogurt dressing. So a bunch of parsley and dill, cilantro, mint, lemons, olive oil, buttermilk, yogurt, and mix all that up and just top it all off.
I'm thinking we should start doing a food segment from now on. I'm getting hungry right now.
I'm the cook in my family. Like I absolutely love cooking. I keep a notebook of all my recipes and ideas and stuff to work out. And so my wife is not the cook in the family. I'm the cook. I make 100% of the dinners.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Oh my God. Really?
You know what? I did say season 2 is going to be exciting. It's going to be new stuff. So this is the brainchild right now. We're going to have a food cook-off.
Food segment.
I'm stumbling on my words right now. I'm just thinking about the food right now.
It's smelling good. I can smell it coming up the stairs right now.
So here's the name of the next show. Then instead of your next move, it's going to be what's to eat in Dallas, what's to eat in Raleigh, what's to eat.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Put it in the books, Dean. Let's make that happen.
Right.
All right. So food-wise, you got all that stuff going on. What's the best kept secret in your area that people don't know about that they should know?
The best kept secret. I'm going to say the Natural Science Museum.
Really?
Okay.
That I know that's a random secret, right? I don't think a lot of people know about it. So in downtown Raleigh, we have a lot of great museums. The Natural Science Museum has some of the most amazing exhibits, and it is 100% free.
Say that one more time.
It's free to go see.
Free 99, you
I
said?
knew you were going to say that.
Free. So
Wow.
if you're an adult, if you have kids, like whatever age your kids are, it's fantastic. I have a 9 and a 10-year-old, and we go a few times a year, and they just have a little bit of everything. And they have a discovery lab. So you can go up on the second floor of this museum right in the middle of downtown Raleigh, and you can go in with the scientists, and on any given day, they could be digging up fossils. You can actually dig up actual fossils with them, or you can go into another discovery room where they're giving a lecture on, beetles or lizards or whatnot. And like you go through specimens, and they just have a lot of hands-on stuff there that my kids really love doing. And
Right.
since it's in the heart of downtown, A lot of great restaurants, a lot of great breweries close by. So once you're done doing the kid thing, you can pop over for, a bite to eat and a tasty beverage and then head back home. Like, it's a great spot to go kill almost an entire day. And then the art museum, which is about 10 minutes from there. So the North Carolina Art Museum, a lot of great exhibits. They have a lot of outdoor greenway space. So you can ride your bikes, you can go running, go for a hike, just a stroll with your kids. And they have outdoor summer concert series there as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
you can go to an art museum, you can catch some music and get some exercise kind of all in the same place.
I'm liking this. I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching this is liking this also.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to sell their home here in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, Dean, what's the average price, let's say in Queens for a one family home?
600, 625, 650.
All right. So 600, they sell that property. What can they get in your area, Will?
So our area is really neat. We have a very micro market. So prices change heavily from one area to the next. Here's an example. If you're inside the belt line, so remember when I said there was like city center and then there's this circle, right? Everybody wants to be ITB if you want to be in Raleigh. If you want to buy
In the belt line?
in the belt line,
All right.
you're close to downtown, right?
Okay.
So if you're close to downtown in Old Raleigh, you're going to buy a 1960s or 70s rancher that's 1,800 square feet. It's probably going to cost you $400,000 to $500,000, right?
Okay.
But if you go 20 minutes north, you can get that same house for half the cost.
Wow.
Okay.
Here's an example. Wake Forest, the town I live in a subdivision called Heritage. You can get a 3,000 square foot house, 5-bedroom, 4-bath for between $400,000 and $450,000.
That's a big house, though.
That's a big house for $400,000 and $450,000, right?
Yep.
The same house, the same price, go inside the Beltline in Raleigh, you're getting an 1,800 square foot house.
Okay.
So you're getting twice the house and one that's probably only 10 years old if you're going outside that bigger Beltline area. And again, it's very neighborhood specific. This exact house I'm talking about, one neighborhood away, could be $50,000 less. It's all based on amenities and schools.
Okay.
Right? Do you have direct access to a greenway trail? Right? What schools are they going to? Are they going to the particular schools all the parents want to send their kids to? Or are they just going to some of the other schools? Right?
That's a good way to discuss them.
Yeah, every neighborhood's going to be a little bit different. And here's an example. The exact same house in Wake Forest and Rollsville, which are two suburbs that butt up next to each other. Like, there is a line through the middle of subdivisions. If you're on the Rollsville side, you're going to be paying $75,000 less than if you're on the Wake Forest side.
Wow.
You're buying the address and you're buying the school.
Good to know. So
That's
obviously,
the reality of the situation. But if you're coming down with the $650,000 house that you sold up there, and that's the budget you want to have here, you're going to have, and if you want to live outside of city limits, quote unquote, you can get a 4,000 square foot brand new house that is absolutely amazing.
all right. So we have clients basically that they're in different age groups. Majority, I'm going to say half of them are Generation X, and then we have retirees also. So a lot of them pretty much, they don't want to do the 2 levels anymore. They do want to do the 1 level, and they want their forever home. And this sounds like a really good area to look into.
We have, so I have a client that we're building a house right now. They're actually my best friend's parents. They own a townhouse here locally, which we're going to sell off, but they're moving from just outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So they're coming down from Philly and they're doing just that. They're buying in a 55 plus community here. Del Webb has a bunch of communities like that around here, and you're getting that single level living, very custom built for them, high end stuff, but they do lots of community activity things together. So I'm seeing a lot more retirees kind of coming to this area because they're from the north and their kids moved down here for work, or their kids moved down here to go to school and they stayed and they didn't go anywhere. So what they're doing is they're flocking to this area. So there's several communities around here that are all the 55 plus that have lots of activities. And then we have great hospitals because we have Duke and UNC close by. So we do see a lot of retirees coming down here kind of following their kids.
That's good to know. Now, you gave us a lot to think about in the area. Dean, you have any other further questions?
No, we covered a lot, and I'm excited to check out the place. Check out Raleigh one day. I haven't been there.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Like I said, you're You're 2 hours to the ocean. You're 2.5 hours to the mountains. Like, it's a great in-betweener. It's great for families, retirees, pretty much anybody. There's a reason Raleigh keeps getting ranked one of the best places to live in the entire country year after year. It really is.
You know what? For one of the best places to live, you need the best agent to work with. And my segue to that is, who should we call? I think we should call Will. So Will, how can they reach you if they're interested in moving out there?
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and lay out my number for everybody. 919-819-6731. That is my personal cell phone number. It's not a smart number. It's not an office number, a brokerage number. It's my personal cell phone. If you really want to get in contact with me, just feel free to text me. You can find me online at draperandcorealty.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Just look up Will Draper NC and you'll probably run across me. And if you ever have any questions about the area or you want to do a virtual walkthrough tour, just hit me up.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much, Will.
Thank you, Will.
All right. Now, Dean, for the people who are considering calling Will and they want to make that move, they need to sell this property. In order to do that, how can they reach us?
They're going to call or text me at 516-527-9549, or my email is just my name, Dean Graber @kw.com.
And you can reach me at 917-975-5985. My email address is evantz@yahoo.com. Hey, Dean, hit them with the website.
Hit them with the website, mynywhomesales.com.
All right. I want to thank Dean, my co-host, and both of us want to thank Will basically for giving us a lot of information about his area. Please, if you're considering moving out there, give Will a call, give Dean a call, give me a call. We'd love to help everybody as much as we can. So we're going to end it right here. So I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you guys for doing this. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, we're here to answer them for you. So bye.
Evantz, Dean, I appreciate you. Peace, love, happiness, and much success.
You too, man. Everything's going to be all right.
That's right.